Buenos tardes, amigos, amigas from West Ajijic, and I'm here with a friend of mine. His name is Andrew. He appeared in an interview about 3 years ago. I met him 3 years ago, three and a half years ago over in the Ajijic Plaza. He's going to talk about living in Mexico, how he enjoys it. He's going to give you a little information about himself and what's going on and what he does here now also. But I want to say he's going to speak a little bit of Spanish. He is fluent in Spanish. So go ahead, Andrew.
How you doing, everybody that follows Chris's YouTube channel? My name is Andrew, or here in Mexico I go by Andres. We met about 3 years ago here in Ajijic and became buddies. Have a lot in common, and we both enjoy the pace and style of life in Mexico.
Okay, now before we go any further, you want to say something in Espanol?
Sure.
He's fluent.
Bienvenidos amigos a YouTube channel de Chris. Yo soy Andrés, vivo en México a gusto, prefiero vivir aquí que acá en los Estados Unidos, es más mi estilo. Viven aquí en el momento, allá mucho estrés, aquí no hay estrés. Yeah, I enjoy just the pace of life in Mexico, the people, the tradition, the culture, especially the food, but I plan on living in Mexico the rest of my life. I moved down here 3.5 years ago, but I think Mexico...
You moved to the Lakeside
Yeah,
area.
moved Lakeside, but I've also lived in San Miguel de Allende back from 2004 to 2008. I think Mexico got into under my skin, in my blood, when I was 2 years old. My parents quit their jobs, bought a pop-up Volkswagen camper, and took my older brother and I from Tijuana all the way to Mérida, Yucatan. I have no recollection of that, of course, but something got in my blood, and I prefer Mexico. I've traveled all over the world, and my favorite place to live is Mexico. They have everything here.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to go into your parents' history or your grandparents' history, but I do know about it. And you see Andrew, he'll tell you about it. But I want to say, we were talking about San Miguel. Now, he was there much earlier than I was. I was there for a snowbird season in 2000. The motorcycles are going by.
Typical noise.
Yeah.
Mexico's a noisy country.
Okay, yeah. I was there 2018 to 2019 for a snowbird season, but we were talking about neighborhoods there. So what neighborhood? Oh yeah, I know what neighborhood. He lived in an excellent neighborhood there.
I ended up, my older brother and I bought a house in 2004, remodeled it, and lived there for 4 years in a colonia or a neighborhood called La Guadalupe.
Oh, it's great there.
Only less than a 10-minute walk from our house to the Jardín, which is the Plaza Principal, or the main plaza, the town square. It's the only place that calls it a Jardín in Mexico. And you sit there right in front of the most beautiful Gothic church called La Parroquia. Incredible church.
Beautiful.
And San Miguel has a lot of history. That's kind of where the revolution happened, Dolores Hidalgo and San Miguel de Allende. So it's a 450-year-old town that's in a beautiful location in the mountains, and also a Pueblo Mágico, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and draws a lot of tourism. It's a beautiful town, gets a lot of Mexico City people, a lot of Europeans, and a lot of gringos. It all started in the 40s, I believe. Sterling Dickinson.
Oh, yes.
He started a language and art institute, and it still is going today. So people have been settling there, just like Ajijic, for over 80 years. There's been a good flow of gringos mixing with Mexicans and getting along pretty well.
Yeah, there's history there.
Kind of an expensive place nowadays. It's one of the more pricier places in Mexico, but if you get a chance to visit San Miguel, it'll sweep you off your feet.
And you lived in the Guadalupe
area, and San Antonio is
we were talking because I lived in San Antonio, but the Guadalupe area there, right outside of Central, they got Via Organica, a restaurant there. That is a great place to eat and shop.
I was 5 minutes away from La Fábrica Aurora, which is an old textile mill or fabric mill.
It's a great place.
That they converted into art studios.
Very famous.
Yeah, very famous. high-end art, paintings, but a cool area to live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you were in San Miguel, we're going to talk a little bit about Lakeside, but when you were in San Miguel de Allende, you were there for how long? About 4 years?
A little over 4 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you really
04 to
loved it,
08.
and you would go to restaurants. I wonder if Hecho in Mexico was.
Hecho in Mexico was booming.
It's on Zacatecas.
Yep.
On the Ancha, actually.
On the Ancha, in a great place owned by a gringo who I think married a Mexican, but a wonderful place, great restaurant. I'd also go see concerts. Some friends of mine named Willie and Lobo used to play at Mamma Mia's.
Okay.
They started out in Vallarta, but Lobo lived in San Miguel de Allende, and they'd always play concerts at Mamma Mia's, which was right off of the town square, a popular place that's no longer or has since relocated.
Well, when I was there, and only for 6 months, not for 4 years like you, there was really good clubs over there, like El Tupanambas and Paprika.
Yeah.
And I think Paprika has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't. But Don Lupe's, there was a restaurant, Mexican restaurant. They used to have some pretty good karaoke over there.
Yep.
And there was another place, something called Azul. I don't remember.
Yeah, there was a great, I can't remember, maybe you will, but there was a great steakhouse about a block away from the plaza.
Garufa?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because they got one right here. In,
Okay.
Ajijic, yeah.
But just like Ajijic, San Miguel is chock full of restaurants. You could eat at a different restaurant every day for a year and not repeat. So
Yeah.
good foodie town.
Good foodie town. Let's talk about Lakeside now.
Sure.
I see Andrew zipping on this e-bike here, and he moves. I see him in San Antonio the other day. I see him at night. He rides at night.
Oh, yeah.
He gets around pretty good on this e-bike.
Yeah.
Has a lot of fun. And,
This e-bike actually was a gift from some very close friends. They pulled me aside one day and said, "We solved your transportation problems." And I said, "You bought me a Bocho or a Volkswagen Bug?" Just kidding around. And they said, "No, we got you a hot new little e-bike. We think you'll look sexy on it." And yeah, Chris sees me zipping around because I used to...
You were over by Chapala,
Yeah,
too.
I used to walk everywhere. This is a walkable town, or take a bus. I have no problem jumping on a bus, but now it's freed me up. This has been completely, it's revolutionized my life and given me freedom to just take off and go to a different lakeside town and visit their malecon or their little pathway along the lake. So.
Oh yeah, let's get back real quick.
Yeah.
We'll get back to Lake Chapala, but what about, I'm sure you know, the spiritual pathway.
Oh yeah.
Going up into, from down on Pila Seca in San Miguel de Allende. That's kind of a shortcut up to.
Yes. Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
San Miguel's high up in the mountains, and then the town sort of sits in a little valley, and you can take the Ancha and go down to Celaya, or you can go to a big city called Querétaro, a different state actually, but you have to go up past the Mirador. And the Mirador is a neat place that looks over the city. That's what it means.
It's like the,
Yeah, it's a lookout over the city, but at certain times of the year, the jacaranda, these purple, beautiful trees blossom, and it's just incredible to see all the colorful homes and then these beautiful purple jacaranda.
It's nice.
Amazing,
up there.
yeah.
I was with a young guy I met from New York. He was 28 years old, and he took me for a walk up there. And I'm telling you,
You'll never forget it.
I never forget it. I remember that young guy. But talking about the Lakeside area now, you get around pretty well, and you know a lot of people here, and you're really integrated into the Mexican communities very well.
I did that quickly, and the reason for that is I started speaking Spanish because I had to in high school. You obviously take a language, and so I took Spanish. I did very well in that. I excelled in foreign language, unlike math and science. Did very well in foreign language. Then I did a study, and I kept going with my Spanish at the University of Washington. And my junior year, I studied in Sevilla, España, or Seville, and that helped quite a bit. And then I came home and the Spanish sort of went away, always kind of in there, but I wasn't speaking Spanish with any friends until I moved to the Central Coast of California, and I was working in my uncle's restaurant. And of course, in a lot of restaurants, especially in California, there's Mexicanos or Chicanos, and they started teaching me slang, and I was able to practice Spanish. So I've been speaking Spanish for almost 40 years, still learning, still make mistakes, but yes, I'm fluent, and that helps me. Anywhere I go south of the border between the U.S. and Mexico, all the way through Central and South America, I can get by.
Okay,
so it helps to speak the language.
Yeah. Now I want to say one thing. We're not going to talk about your uncle, his name, but I know his uncle. It's your mom's husband.
Mom's younger brother.
Yeah, and he's really cool. He is cool. I think he's got a master's degree in Latin studies,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. He's here in the Lakeside area. But as far as being here, have you been able to catch some more music? And
I catch a lot of live music. A lot of my Mexican friends are in local bands or sing on their own at restaurants. This is a great town for live music. You can go to lots of different places on different nights and catch. Ajijic is full of very talented young Mexican musicians, all different genres, from typical Latin songs to U.S. rock and roll, and even
yeah, a lot of
rap. Rap is popular,
Yeah,
believe it or not, in Mexico.
I haven't run into any rap musicians yet, but they're always welcome to appear on this channel.
Yeah.
For those who aren't aware, I've been covering. This channel has been the main source of music videos for an expat, and I'm talking about expat YouTube channel, during the last three and a half years. So I love covering the musicians. You are right. They're just dripping in gold, like someone said.
A lot of these musicians, there's a lot of U.S., like Chris just said, a lot of people have retired here, and maybe they were in famous bands or famous local bands in the States, but now they're in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, and they play for fun. They do it for, you know, entertainment, and because that's what they do. So you can catch some pretty cool, a lot of great jazz. We get international jazz people here. So this is a cool spot for food, music, and obviously the climate. Ajijic, I think, has one of the top 3 annual climates in the world, and so that's what draws me here. I'm a guy that likes sun after living in Seattle 11 years. I think I prefer being warm.
I know. I was in Oregon for only 5 days years ago, and it was raining every day. But oh wow, you're just saying so much, man. I just wanted, this is a little bit of a lengthy interview, but we were talked a lot about San Miguel. Oh yeah, when you were there, the Berlin Bar.
Berlin,
Oh,
excellent.
the bar.
German guy, German food.
I went there. It's a historical place where writers.
Gunther, I think, is the name of the owner.
I didn't meet him, but there was some famous Beat Generation writers that used to go to the Berlin
a famous
bar.
spot. And also, you probably remember this, right across from Berlin was the most popular Irish bar called Limerick. And that was across the street, pool table, darts, late night crowd. But San Miguel is a neat spot. We share a lot. We have a lot in common. I just found out today that Chris spent a stint in San Miguel, and I said,
It's a short one,
lived
6
there.
months. I had an apartment there in
That's enough time to get to know it, though. You realize how cool it is.
Well, I was a lot of boots on the ground there, man. I didn't have a car back then, and you don't ride bikes much over there.
Yeah, that's a walking city like here, only it's hilly. It'll wipe you. You take an hour walk in San Miguel, you'll need a nap.
Yeah. But let's get back to Lakeside.
Sure.
What else you want to say about the Lake Chapala area here?
I actually moved from the U.S. in, must have been 2021. I visited a friend in Puebla, Mexico, a big city outside, about 3 hours outside of Mexico City. Puebla is a famous town with a lot of history and great food. I lived there 6 weeks and decided to come over and visit my aunt, my mom's younger sister, who's lived here for 8 years. I fell in love with Ajijic in a weekend. and went back to Puebla, got my belongings. I've been here 3.5 years. I don't think I'll leave. It's a good home base. I want to travel more. Some places I want to visit. I want to travel the world more, but this place as a home base suits me well. I like the speed and pace of life here. The people are wonderful, and it's nice. I can't be by the ocean right now, but we have the largest lake in Mexico, Lake Chapala, and that gives you the sense. Big bodies of water have good energy and make you feel good. So with this lovely weather year-round and a huge lake, wonderful food, great Mexican friends and expats, pretty happy here. I highly recommend people visit Ajijic, Jalisco. It's only an hour away from Guadalajara and 40 minutes away from
you go up there. We were talking
airport.
about our trips that we, not together, but we separately, to Tlaquepaque, Tonalá,
Absolutely.
Different places over there in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
We have went, but
the town of Tequila is an hour and a half away. That's kind of a fascinating place to go drink tequila and see some tequila fabricas.
I haven't been
where it's
there.
made.
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
But before we go,
Sure.
I want to show them those bell bottoms
Oh,
again.
absolutely.
Your friend, a lady, made them here.
Yeah, I have a young tailor friend, and I stopped buying new clothes. I wear what I already own, and I actually have given away a lot of my clothes to the Goodwill. But when I met this young woman, Maria, and found out she was a tailor, I jokingly said, "Hey, can you make me some bell-bottom pants?" She said, "Sure." Made me a pair. I loved them. So this is the second pair of bell-bottoms I bought from Maria. She made me a bucket hat that's reversible, and she's working on a cowboy-style shirt with an herradura, which is a horseshoe, the lucky horseshoe. So yeah, I'm now supporting a friend locally and buying clothes from her.
And it's right here in Ajijic. Huh?
Chapala, yeah.
Oh,
she
Chapala.
works out at Chapala, and she goes to fashion school in Guadalajara.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you guys ever see Andrew here, stop him and talk to him. He's approachable. It's a lot of fun, does a lot, enjoys life. You know what you know about that fashion, what would you call her, clothes designer?
Yeah, tailor, clothing
Yeah,
designer.
she'll
She's
make
got
some
a
bell
line.
bottoms.
She's got a line of women's lingerie.
And she'll make you some
Yeah.
bell bottoms.
Get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with Maria. You can get yourself some unique clothes that nobody else has.
All right, so with that, I want to say thank you. We had a good time talking before this. We're going to be spending some more time together. I'm going to tell you, if you need a tour guide, this guy can take you around different places in Mexico.
Yeah.
Say you want to go to Guadalajara, he'll,
I join you.
Yeah.
However, like my uncle Greg, that Chris knows and has met years ago, he actually does walking tours for 2 or 3 hours every Saturday, starting at Lake Chapala Society and ending up at a cafe near the plaza. But he is a wealth of knowledge of Mexico. Yeah, he has a degree in that and worked
Land
for the
studies,
airlines. Yeah, Mexicana Airlines in the 80s. So he is very knowledgeable, much more than me, on this lakeside area and how important it was in Mexico's history. This was settled a long time ago and has a lot of history. So thanks, Chris. It was great bumping into you.
Yeah, and I want to say thanks. Let's look at this e-bike again. Now I did e-bike videos, and I want to say this before we close. There's another YouTube channel. He does bike videos too. I'll show you those. Really good bike videos.
Nice.
He does relocation. He's a relocation expert. Jim from JB's Adventure, and I'll show you those e-bike videos. And I want to say thanks. Thanks a lot for doing this.
My pleasure.
And appreciate it. And I'm
keep
gonna
up the good work. You got the best YouTube channel. Keep it up.
Okay, well, thanks. Look at it some more when you get
Adios,
time.
todos.
Okay, adios. Thanks for doing this, Andrew. Adios.
Adios.